Well, Dr. Tunji Abayomi joins us this morning. He's a legal practitioner. Morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning.
Well, previously you had spoken on this matter, severally, to the extent that you did say that, if I remember properly, that the foundation of the country is not exactly clear.
Yeah.
You talked about constituent assembly. Could you shed some light on that?
Well, the principal issue is that the people in historically own a nation. And the way a nation is put in path of order is through the creation or the agreement of a constitution. Like I have said even on this on your station, a constitution is not law. It is an agreement by the people on how they are to be governed. Now you know the nature of a study, for example, the Interpretation Act. It says law passed by the National Assembly and sent to the President for the assent. Yeah. But the Constitution is not ever sent to anybody, and it is never enacted into law. In other words, it is not a government that gives a nation a constitution. It is a constitution that gives a nation a government. If we look at the journey of our nation, from 1946 Richardson Constitution to 1999 Constitution, our nation has had over 10 constitutions. The constitutions under colonial government were basically controlled by, you can say all those constitutions are actually controlled by one single man. Under the colonial government, it was by the secretary, the colonial secretary and governor general. Usually they are invited to London and they come up with, and they are largely protective of the interests of the British. Under the military government, it's just, a decree. In fact, in the whole world, it is our constitution alone that is called Decree 24 of 1999. And if we look at that constitution, it really asserts the right to citizenship. Because if you don't mind, I just read something from you. Every Nigerian should clearly be concerned, because it says here, it says, whereas the military set up transition government, whereas military in front of the community inaugurated something, the constitution debate something. After it says, whereas all other apparatus of government, the presidency, Senate, National Assembly, local government, all of that had been constituted. And it now went ahead, and then now, therefore, the federal military government hereby decrees as follows. There shall be for Nigeria a constitution which shall be set out in the schedule to this decree. The constitution set out in the schedule to this decree shall come into force on 29th day of 1999. You will recall that 29th day is the last day after all governments have been constituted. And then it said, this decree shall be cited as the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, there are two issues here that is important for the citizens of Nigeria to understand. The first thing is that the very foundation of the making of that constitution is illegal. When the military came into power, it invested on itself the power to make law for peace, order, and good government. And in other words, it took over the legislative authority invested in the National Assembly, not the power to make a constitution. The National Assembly has never had the power to make a constitution. The only extent of its power with reference to the constitution is to amend it. Now, but when the military came to the point of making a constitution, it ran into some confusion. Where then does it derive its power? There's nowhere. So it now called it Decree of 1999. And there is a fundamental principle that must be understood. It is not the content of a constitution that validates it. It's a procedure of making it. If, for example, you are a distinguished lawyer, Sulaiman, and you are a great lawyer, maybe the best in this country, and you prepare a constitution for Nigeria, it is an invalid document. But if the people, in their folly, come together and they agree on the terms of their constitution, how they are to be governed, and they endorse it as their document of authority, it becomes a good constitution. That's why Kwame Nkrumah said, a people have a right to govern or misgovern themselves. So this is the foundation why we're asking for a national conference. Well, we're talking of national, some people say sovereign and all of that. But that's not really the issue. In my letter to Abdul Salami, when in 1998.
You wrote him at that time?
Yes, I wrote him at that time. It was well publicized, in which I spoke of the logic. The topic was the logic of a national conference. At that time, our people, the human rights community, was also unable to operationalize or define what they mean by sovereign national. There's really nothing sovereign about it. There's not. The people who are calling for sovereign national conference are unable to operationalize their sovereignty. The people who are denying, who don't want it, are also not able to operationalize why they say there's no sovereign. In fact, if we look at all the national conferences, whether in Benin Republic or in Togo or in Zaire at that time, the essence of a national conference is to give the people a constitution. That is the essence. So what is actually sovereign is really not the national conference. Sovereignty, the people. Because even when they come up with a constitution, they still have to surrender that constitution to the people. In other words, when you have that kind of conference, what they are exercising is delegated power. They are just agents.
So the sovereignty lies with the people.
The sovereignty,
whether you call the conference
whether you call it
not.
sovereign or you call it unsovereign, whatever, sovereignty belongs to the people, because the people merely delegated their power to them, come up with a document on our behalf for the purposes of government over us. That is the whole essence. So when they talk of sovereignty or sovereign, that's not the issue. The issue is that when you have a conference as agents of the people, exercising delegated power of the people.
In other words, the conference would also be the Constituent Assembly. Is that what it is? They're one and the same thing?
Yeah, whether you call it Constituent Assembly is a nomenclature. You can call it Constitutional Convention. You can call it National Conference. You can call it Constituent Assembly. The only problem with the military, they call it Constituent Assembly. It confuses it really. Ideally, it is actually a constitutional convention. America, for example, calls it Constitutional Convention. South Africa calls it a different name.